Hello YouTube, this is Sibbles and Bits back at it again with an in-depth bug report on Mom. Now, the community has pretty much already understood the fact that Mom is causing some shenanigans with people's downtimers, but one thing that I've noticed is that nobody is actually looking into exactly what's going on. And the reason I bring it up, especially so close to the next patch, is because the mom bug has gone from active to in testing, but the devs are already teasing, spoiling on Reddit. The Twitter's already spoiling. So it seems like this fix may not necessarily make this patch, and I'm afraid that people are going to sleep on Mom for another patch due to the fact that they don't quite understand exactly what's going on, because it's not exactly as bad as everybody's making it out to be. So we'll go into that. So here we are. We're jumping into a lobby here. This is on solo. It's on no hope. The reason why I'm showing most of this is because, one, for reproduction purposes, in case anybody else wants to try it out, and two, because, well, just about everything that's going on here is important for this test. None of these corruption cards actually matter. The important thing here is that we have Fit as a Fiddle. And so we're going to just start out and we're going to incap ourselves. So while we're going through that, I'm going to go ahead and explain that the reason that we're on no hope is because bots get all of their cards. And that is important for later. But we're going to go ahead and just incap ourselves here. Bots are going to get in the way, as they always do with these incap tests. They're quite annoying. But unfortunately, as far as this test, we kind of need them around. So I'm going to just go ahead and skip ahead to when I actually get downed. Okay, so chances are you didn't see at all anything that happened there. So that's perfectly fine. That's why I have taken the screenshots here in order to explain. First thing to note is that we have pretty much everything going off, as you'd expect. I currently have Avenge the Fallen stacks on me, so we know that Avenge the Fallen is working. Everybody's sparkling, so you know that Inspiring Sacrifice is currently going off. And you can even see on the bot's bolstered health, they've got part of it filled in. So we know that Mom Talent also worked. Now, we'll explain why this is important a little bit later, but one thing that you probably definitely didn't catch is the fact that when we get revived, the frame after we get revived, we have what looks here like 192 out of 192 health. And on the next frame, everything gets set back to where you'd expect it to be. We have 104 health, max health, we have 52 actual health, because when you get revived for 50% of your current max health, which makes sense. So you might be thinking, okay, that all it's doing is that frame before, it's calculating your maximum health so that you are given the correct amount of health, and it's just using that in order to do the math, and it just takes a frame to do that. Actually not the case. We'll get to that in the second incap. Now, while we're getting to the second incap, there's also another test in here that isn't necessarily relevant for this test. I'm going to go ahead and explain what you're going to see in the next bit. Now, in my February medical card interaction video, I explained how incap cards were bugged. And precisely what that meant is that if you have more than one incap card on the team, incap cards, of course, being Inspiring Sacrifice, Avenge the Fallen, what'll happen is they'll all go off the first time that you go down, but in order for them to go off again, you have to go down an amount of times equal to the cards that you have. So here we're in no hope. Bots have all their cards, which means that they have 3 copies of Inspiring Sacrifice, 3 copies of Avenge the Fallen. That's 6 cards, means that they're on cooldown. They're not going to go off. And we see that here. While we are downed, currently have experienced EMT, is the only buff that we have. We did not get Avenge the Fallen stacks. They are not sparkling, so they don't have Inspiring Sacrifice going off either. Why is this important? Well, let's go ahead and look at that bolstered health again. Mom did not give bolstered health to the team on the second incap. And this is where it's important. Mom's talent is an Incap card and therefore increases and shares the, if you want to say, cooldowns of these other cards. So on this down, her talent didn't go off and therefore it did not affect us. And we'll see when we get revived, we have 400 out of 400 HP. Now you guys might be a little bit confused. Let me just reassure you, this is completely normal. I've been seeing this with Incap testing that I've been doing all the time. To put it into a simpler term is that whenever you are Incapped, you are given 400 of this. It works like health, but it's not health. You can call it down health if you want, Incap health if you want. I call it Incap timer, because it degrades over time and is essentially a timer. It is also important to state that this down timer, or Incap health, will decrease at a rate of 5 every second, approximately. The servers aren't exactly one for one. Even your use bars aren't exactly the same every single time. So they'll vary by about up to 10%, to be honest. But that's the server desyncage to whatever it is. This means that a normal Incap timer will last approximately 80 seconds. And the lowest that I've been able to get it to is 55 health, in which case I bled out in 11 seconds, approximately. You're going to get 400 of this. It does not go down in safe rooms, just like temporary health. It might even be temporary health, but it's not affected by mom or other temporary health extenders. And the only way to get more of this after you have been downed is give THP to the target, either through splashing with Overwatch, splashing with Vanguard. You can do it yourself with Face Your Fears. Or if another person goes down, Mom's talent will give you another 25 temporary health on top of this and extend that timer. Alternatively, if you take any damage, like say No Hope Monstrous Tallboy hit for 92 damage, 91.8 technically, but we're splitting hairs here. It's going to take 91 health off of this Incap timer and therefore the relevant amount of health. So going back to our previous example, we revived with 192 Incap health. A lot of people have been stating that what mom is doing is she's making people decay faster. They're bleeding out faster, and they think that what it is it's her temporary health decay stats is affecting the entire party, when in fact it's her talent that is doing it, because when her talent interferes, what it's doing is it's setting your Incap timer instead of 400 to your true max health. So what does this mean? Well, now that we understand exactly what's going on and what's affecting it, we're able to combat it or mitigate it. Some of the things that you can do to lessen the impact of the mom bug, easiest thing to do is just to grab any one copy of another Incap card, right? Grab one copy of Avenge the Fallen, one copy of Inspiring Sacrifice, whichever you prefer. And then you only have to worry about the first time someone goes down, you're going to have to pick them up quick because they're going to have that reduced Incap timer. However, this means that mom's talent's not going off every single time that you're going down. You're not getting Inspiring Sacrifice or Avenge the Fallen every single time, and that may make it less valuable for you. Another thing that you can do, as mentioned in the first example, is you can stack bolstered health. So, since bolstered health affects your true max health, that means that teams that want to stack more bolstered health have less of an impact as well from Mom's Incap. Assume that you have 100% bolstered health because you have Charisse, Mom, and 4 copies of Fit as a Fiddle. You are going to have effectively double your true max health, so you're going to double your Mom Incap down timers. This means that if you're able to HP stack above 200, you're actually going to have more than 400 true max HP, and in which case, this becomes a buff to your team. Again, is it worth investing all those cards into Fit as a Fiddle? Does your team actually use Mom and Charisse? I would argue that if you have 100% bolstered health, you'd probably want to extend the duration of it. But the other thing to note there is, do you actually use your entire in-cap timers now? Or are you picking people up at like 50%, 75% of the in-cap timers? If that's the case, then mom's already not having that much of an impact on your team. It's just shortening the degree of error that you have. Now, if you're in Swarm, what can you do in order to alleviate the mom bug? Get good. Honest, like 100% honest. You can't HP stack as well in Swarm as you can in Campaign because you don't have team HP upgrades. You're not grabbing HP intel throughout the match. You cannot stack bolstered health because the only source of bolstered health is Charisse. And the in-cap card bug, for whatever reason, does not work in Swarm. So you can't even just add an Inspiring Sacrifice and make it so that it's only the first down. It will happen every single down. So, legitimately, if you're going to use Mom and Swarm, in my opinion, you're going to have to really be on top of those revives, which it's already pretty much a hectic mode. But as far as Campaign, it's not as big of an impact as people are making out to be when you understand how to lessen or even exploit it for your own purposes. Anyways, I hope that this was very informative. Feel free to send it to the mom main in your group. Until next time, I'll catch you guys round.